Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome back. In today's episode of my series, 5 Things You Didn't Know, we are going to be talking to one of my dear friends and colleagues, Becca Morello. She is an actress, model, ambassador. She pretty much does it all, and she's going to be taking us through her journey as becoming a working actress. If you are interested in hearing Becca's ins and outs and also any advice that she has for new or existing performers, then definitely keep watching. Okay, hi Becca.
Hi,
Thank you so much for doing this with me today. How are you?
I'm doing great. I am just tickled to be here. So thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thank you. So, be candid. Tell us your journey into acting. What was it like? How did you get started?
So you're looking for the origin story as Marvel.
Precisely.
Well, it's kind of a long story. So I started acting when I was 4 because I was a high energy child, and bless my poor parents who needed an outlet for my energy, and luckily found a theater for kids acting class in the local park district, signed me up, and apparently the rest was history. I came home to my parents and said, I'm going to be an actor. And from there, I did all of the school plays, drama clubs, theater camps, you name it, and studied it in college and endeavored into it professionally. So it has been always a part of my life ever since I was a youngin'.
Awesome. With your acting experience, since you started on the stage, what has been your experience with acting? Has it been all theater? Have you done commercial work, TV work? What else have you done?
I've done a little bit of everything. I mean, my primary background is in theater, but when I got to college, we were able to branch out into film classes, voiceover classes. I've done children's theater, a little bit of improv. After college, I actually interned at a casting company in Chicago, so I got a little bit of experience from behind the table, and I interned also at a film production company when I was at school, and then started with background acting and did some stand-in work, photo doubling, short films, feature films, indie films, all of it, commercials, you name it. We're lucky to live in and work in such a varied industry that there's always something new to try and experiment with.
Exactly. Being in Chicago, I feel like is such a great place to get started in acting because you have all those different options literally right in our backyard. We've got the casting companies downtown that book just extras, so you can try that. There's obviously the agencies that book print and commercial work and TV work. There's obviously Second City. We have so much. What is something that, as a new actor or an actor in general, what's something that you wish you knew just starting out? If you could go back and be like, gosh, I wish I would have knew that because this would have went smoother, or I shouldn't have done that if I knew this.
That's such a great question. I mean, hindsight is always 2020, isn't it? Something I wish I would have learned or known about before starting this professionally was that every performer is an entrepreneur. Whether you are an actor, an artist, a dancer, a singer, you're an entrepreneur, especially at the beginning, because you are responsible for everything. Your training, publicity, managing social media, promoting yourself, writing all of those emails, seeking representation, putting gigs out there, works that you've done online on YouTube, whether you're releasing a demo, whatever have you, it's your baby. It is having a business. And so that's something that I wish I really would have either sought more knowledge on as I was training, or something that was just added into our curriculum was the business side of things too, about this is an average cut that your agent should get. You should know that you don't need to pay your agent upfront until they get you work. All of those little tips and tricks, which now we know like the back of our hand. Right. But a lot of those things aren't really discussed when you're training. And I think that is such an important part and can save your career if you have a business mindset about it.
Oh, absolutely. Most people, whether they're getting involved or are supporting an actor, their friends or family, don't realize how much back end work goes into it before you can actually become successful. It takes time. Do you ever wish that people took actors and actresses more seriously?
Oh, all the time.
Like, is
All
there
the
a
time.
stigma that or a myth that you hear about or see that you're like, okay, I need to put my foot down here about this?
There are so many.
Let's talk about them.
And I don't know why they exist. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I've heard that actors are flaky, when in reality, I find that actors are like the most time conscious and committed people that you will ever meet.
Yep.
I've heard that they always want to be the center of attention and are always so dramatic. And
Right?
yes, that side of us does exist. We are storytellers. However, I'm speaking for myself mostly, but I feel like a lot of actors are on the quieter side
Yeah.
and they want to be more introspective because they're observing.
Mhm.
Actors like to people watch because that's where we get characters. We're trained to understand people, relationships, how people interact with each other. So like at a party, yeah, I'm gregarious, I'm outgoing, but I will also love to just sit and watch people. So that was one myth. I was like, center of attention, please, have you met actors? Like, we're analytical. I mean, I've had people tell me that, oh, you'll be broke for the rest of your life, or why don't you get a real job? Like, acting's not a real job, it's not a business.
Okay, I'm so glad
That's
you said
one
that.
trigger point.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
If we're going to delve into that little rabbit hole, I think a lot of people get into that mindset because they see either the highly successful actor who has number of accolades, or they see the other actor who is living in a box on the street
Right.
and trying to like make ends meet, but they have a passion for their art. I think a lot of people don't understand that there are so many different avenues that you can go into as a performer. And I think this is also important for anyone starting out in the career to know. Like, it's great to have those big goals. Please have those big goals because that's going to be that carrot dangling in front of you to keep you going. But also understand that there are so many other ways to make a career as a performer. Like, you could be a voiceover artist and narrate books, doing those industrial films, which are the instructional films. Children's theater pays so well, especially if you do the education circuit and you're traveling from school to school. Like, there are so many ways actors can more than provide for themselves. So I just wish that was something that people could expand their mindset about. I also had not just one, but two teachers in high school who, when I told them that my plans for college were to study the performing arts, consistently held me after class and said, "But Becca, you're so intelligent. I think going into this career path is really just a waste of your brains and your intellect. And I know you really love it, but maybe it's just something you can do on the side. Like, you would be a much better service, like going into governmental work or international ambassadors." And I was like,
You're like, but it's not what I want to do. So
I mean, thank you so much for your support. Thank you. Thank you. That really means a lot.
like, come on.
Do you know how much brain power it takes to create a character, hold a story, understand a plot line, especially if you're doing work in film and you're
Yeah.
popping it up and you're picking up like the beginning of your shoot day is the middle of the movie. You know, having to hold all of those different ideas that happened before that moment and bring it all right back. Like,
There is so much. And the thing that really struck me with what we're talking about was that people don't consider acting like real jobs. I saw a meme or like a quote early last year when the pandemic first hit. It was maybe actually no, it was probably around April when we were all really like feeling the wrath of we're going to be stuck at home for a while. I saw this meme on Facebook and it said something along these lines. The next time someone wants to say like acting is not a real profession, let's all remember what we turned to at the beginning of this pandemic. Hulu, Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus. Those are actors acting in TV shows, movies, films, web series. And you mean to tell me, so when you go to the movie theater and watch a movie, you're paying to be entertained by someone that's not working a real job?
mm-hmm.
With the teachers that you've had with that experience, I've had family members be like, so what are you up to? And I'm like, oh, like I just booked a commercial for Groupon, or like I work at a blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, you're still doing that whole acting thing? I'm like, yes, and it brings me income. Actually, thank you. Or when you see people on a billboard, it's like someone knows that person that's on there. That's not an accomplishment. That's not a legitimate source of work.
Yeah, you've had a billboard too, right?
Mm-hmm. I have, I have.
No big deal.
No big deal at all. I mean, I'm just saying, WeatherTech 2 years. I'm just saying. But yeah, that meme or that quote, I don't know what you'd consider it, really put everything that I think about, or I'm sure all of us think about, into one little spot that said, you know what? Perspective. The next time you want to say acting's not a real job, maybe don't watch Netflix for 12 hours.
Yeah.
That's the stigma on my end that I wish would go away.
Yeah. I remember seeing that quote circulating at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was like, share.
Me too. So leading into my next question for you, and this is something that I'm genuinely interested in hearing from an actress to another actress. How do you stay motivated during these trying times, considering the industry's opening up? Hallelujah.
Yep.
But the last year has not been conducive to performers. So how do you stay motivated, or how did you stay motivated?
Yeah. I mean, it was hard. This was not a good year for creatives, especially because I remember when things first started to shut down, it was mostly entertainment related stuff that shut down first. So at first I thought it was just localized to the entertainment world. And I was like, oh, what do I do? And then, I mean, obviously things became amplified from there. And, it is what it is now. But at the very beginning of everything, I created a little motto for myself, like strive to thrive, strive to thrive. How can I strive to thrive during this time? And for me, I was like, okay, let me look at the facts. What do I have now? I mean, so much to be grateful for, of course, but like, how can I make the most of this time where I am at home in my tiny studio apartment, no creative outlet in sight? What can I do? So I was like, okay, let me go back to basics. Always go back to the basics. I'm going to be reading books, plays, scripts. Let me watch actor interviews. Let me take this time to study and see where I can work on my craft. Let me work on my at-home self-tape setup. Like, what other pieces do I need to integrate into my technology? Are there classes that I can take online? Watching all of the Netflix and movies that I never saw or never had time to see, like studying, like getting back to the basics so that I can then come out of this as a stronger performer.
Yeah, absolutely. That is 100%. I feel like what so many of us either tried to do or didn't know how to do or need to hear even now, because still, even though the industry is opening up, it's slow. So
totally.
Taking the downtime to reinvent or get better, hone in on the things that maybe too we were slacking on. Or I don't know about you, but I took the time to like totally reamp my casting sites. I was like, okay, here we go, making sure resumes up to date. We are going to look into new headshots for down the line. I think that's great that you turned a not so positive time into how could I make the most of it for myself for the future.
Yeah. And it was, I won't say every day was perfect. I definitely had my days where I was like really blue, but I think giving yourself that kind of grace to love yourself through it and realize that it will not always be like this, and then just pick it back up again tomorrow.
Absolutely. That's awesome. And you've done so awesome. You've been booking a few things recently, right? You've been getting some things here and there. That's awesome.
Yeah, some things here and there. It's definitely still slow on my end, but I am okay with that. I know it won't always be like that.
I think we're in this realm of like going with the times because everything's changing. Everything's so digital now. I don't know about you. I haven't stepped foot in a casting office in over a year. Not only how things have been forever and ever, how we're used to, but not only with the times changing, as an experienced performer, if a new actor or actress came up to you and said, I'm just starting out, what advice could you give me? A loaded question.
Yeah. If I were to think of it in terms of little Becca just starting out, what's something I would have want someone to tell little Becca? And I would say take the leap, baby. You're going to learn so much on the way. You learn so much by doing. You won't know it all at the beginning. I'm still learning. I'm sure you are as well. But it's going to be messy action. So take that messy action, get that first website up, contact that first agent, get those first headshots, they will probably change in about a year or so, but like start somewhere. And also, I will say, fake it till you make it, because
Amen.
modeling, for instance, was not on my radar at all. But when I got my very first agent, she also worked for print. And so she called me with my very first booking and said, "Hey Becca, I got a print job for you. Are you available? You've modeled before, right?" And I was like,
Sure have.
"Yes, absolutely I have. 100%. I can do the modeling. I can do it for sure." "Great, you're booked. I'll send you the details." And I was like, "What do I do?" And so I Googled it.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. Hey, if your agent's calling you, as we know, you better take that dang job. And look at now that you did it, you've gotten booked on several print things, right?
Oh, yeah.
And now you're a print model too. So holla.
I don't want to say like fake it till you make it in a lot of scenarios, because I mean, obviously you want to be professional and
Right.
be as
Yeah.
prepared as possible, but sometimes you got to say like, sure, I can figure that out. Figure it out.
So take the leap,
Mhm,
take it till you make it within reason, and
mhm.
figure it out.
Yep.
I love that. You know what, too, I love about this industry is there's a spot for everybody. If you really have the passion and the drive and just the mindset of like, I'm going to put myself out there, try to do what I love, and hopefully it's good enough, you really can't go wrong.
Yeah. That's another thing I've learned too, especially in this industry, which is so much about appearance and talent and who have you trained with and all of that stuff that really tends to pit other actors against each other. Other people are not your competition. Everyone's got something unique to offer. I'm not going to say the script the same way you're going to say it, and you're going to interpret it differently that I'm going to interpret it, and that goes for everyone else. So I think that's also something important to remember, is that you're unique and everyone has a different story to offer.
Absolutely. And we shall wish our new models and actors the best of luck.
Yay!
Becca, you are fantastic and a wonderful friend and a wonderful performer.
Oh,
I adore you. This sit down hopefully will inspire some performers, whether they're new, not new, getting into a slump, or just wants a revamp. So thank you for all of your awesome insight. You're fantastic.
you're fantastic. It was so much fun to like bounce ideas off of you.
Oh, thank you. If anyone wants to find you, I will link your social or your website or whatever in the description box so that they could link up with you and maybe say, hey.
That would be lovely. I like saying hey.
Thank you guys so much for watching our interview, and we will see you next time.
Yay, bye.
There you have it, you guys. 5 things you didn't know about becoming an actress. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you are interested in following Becca's journey, check out her links in the description box. And be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And we'll see you soon. Bye.